Oh, you can watch it on your phone. Put your phone on the live.
Look at me doing too. I'm gonna need to check for that shit. Don't try to get on new friends to do the same, cause I'll get to meet one. I'll blast your ass on YouTube.
That's why I can't stand you.
Wait a minute, time you done put a woolly on my thing. I don't know when to come.
You gotta hit no thanks. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And just turn it all the way down so you won't hear that. So you won't get that feedback.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then we can see who won.
Tell you why you laugh when I said I'll blast your ass on you.
Okay, we live. Is we live? Yes, we are live. Hey, everybody. What's up, Primetime Squad? Everybody check in. Who in the chat? Who in the chat?
Who in the chat? Who in the chat? Who in the Primetime chat?
Now, make sure you guys click the like button when you stroll on in now. Click the like button. Please share this live because we is going to be discussing. We about to have a church meeting up in here. A good old church meeting. But it ain't going to be like no 4 hours like they do in church. You know, y'all ain't got to pass the offering plate if you don't want to. But everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. We're going to be discussing the topic. Let me make sure I put the, yes, I did put the title in there. The topic that we're going to be discussing tonight. Now, it is in reference to a particular pastor that has been in the news lately, whose name is John Gray and his wife, Aventer. But the main topic of discussion here tonight is going to be, should we believe that pastors should be faithful to their wife? Should we hold pastors to a higher regard than just regular men, regular everyday people? Is that a good term for it?
Once you say I do, pastor or not, I believe that that's a whole nother level for both you, male or female. And a lot of us that haven't ever did the I do thing don't actually understand it, but we all, and I speak from my own self, we all do want that. And for somebody to cheat, or however it goes, whether you the one they cheating with or you the one getting cheated on, once you get married or even just in a regular relationship, it hurts all the same to me.
Mm-hmm. And whether you the man of the cloth or just, you know, an everyday man.
Yep, an average Joe. But one thing I say is, you know, we will. It's cute sometimes to anybody, but then when it happens to you, you know how I feel. So regardless if you make it all the way to the altar or if you make preparations, it still hurts. And even a pastor or not, or a pastor wife, or however, or a pastor's husband, you'll. When it happens, it happens. But they always ask, can relationships come back from that? Can they?
Can they survive? That's the thing. And also, not only that, but when it comes to like somebody of the cloth who cheated on their spouse, husband or wife, whichever one it might be, should they always be allowed to just say, I'm sorry. Like the main thing that they're talking about with this John Gray, he's been all over social media. I've been watching videos on him for the last few weeks, including this morning. And the main thing they were saying about him, because of the allegations that he cheated with his wife, and he also admittedly confessed to doing some things that he shouldn't have been doing. You know, he confessed it in front of his congregation, but he didn't go into details. And a lot of people is like, you know what, if you're going to make confessions to your church, or if you're going to stand on the pulpit, don't beat around the bush with it. If you want people to totally forgive you, and you want people to think that you're really sincere and apologetic, then it should have been more like in his case, oh, you know, somebody was in my circle and they shouldn't have been in my circle, and therefore they was in my circle, and my wife found out and she got upset at both of us, and I was sleeping on the couch, and now here we are in front of you guys. It's like, you know, it's like, and then on top of that, like, how many times should they be allowed to make mistakes? We're talking about people of the cloth. Or does it matter to some people if your pastor cheated on his wife? Would you still be a faithful member? Would you leave the church? Would you accept his apology and just move forward? Or would you hold him to a higher standard and say, this isn't acceptable, you need to step down? So that's what I want to hear from you guys. And the phone lines are open. So if you want to call in, just comment in the chat that you want to call in, and we can talk about it.
My thing is about any of it. Okay. I've heard that, like, not just pastors or anybody in churches, where certain people can go out and they can do things, worldly things or whatever, have babies out of wedlock, shack up with a man or woman, but when they ready to come back, or even not when they ready to come back, they probably haven't even left the church, but when they feel they finna be outed, all they gotta do is apologize. Some people, everybody can't apologize, but some people can. No, that's the truth. The truth is the truth. That's what they do, though. And me, I haven't been that many churches or whatever, and I've been married to one church, but I have heard a lot of times where people say they don't go to church because they did this and they did that or whatever. They might have went out and started back drinking or whatever, doing what they call worldly things, drinking, partying, shacking up or whatever. But then also so-and-so that's in the church every, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever services is, they can come back to church, and I've seen it with women. They come back to church, they not married, but they pregnant.
Oh.
So that's like cheating too, to me. And the reason why I say it is like cheating, because it is, how I see it is, you cheat even if you, not just because sex. There it is.
Okay, so let me ask you this. And you guys, remember, you can call in. If you want to call in, just hit me up in the chat and say, I want to call in. The phone number is right there, and we'll talk to you. Do you feel like, okay, now, a lot of people have children out of wedlock, not married, shacking up, whatnot, and they sin. Now, there are some churches who will put you out. Some people might not believe it, but there are some churches that will put you out if you're pregnant and you're not married. Then there's some churches who will let you back in the church, and with open arms. So is that how you feel it should be with a pastor as well? Should they be just welcomed back into the church if they have babies on the side, if they cheating on their wife over and over again, or things like that, and then coming in front of the congregation, oh, I have fell short from the glory of God, and use that all have sinned, and just still be in the pulpit? That's what we want to know. What do you think about that in matters of like John Gray? Like, he admitted that he has some discretions. And then turns around and buys his wife, you know, a $200,000 Lamborghini. And it's like all is well. So, do y'all feel like preachers should be held to a high regard, and if they cheat on their spouses, they should be removed from, you know, the pulpit? Or do you think they should just ask for forgiveness, stay on the pulpit, and just keep on preaching as in, you know, nothing happened?
Well,
Hey, Miss Hogg, how you doing?
hey, Miss Hawk. My whole thing is,
Oh, Miss Hogg, one second, Sammy D.
I'm sorry.
What, Miss Hogg, as far as the mistress of John Gray, there's accusations that the mistress, the one who has like the tape recordings of their conversations, the one that he allegedly begged to delete all her text messages and all her voicemails and emails and all that, she is not the one. There's alleged that there's another mistress who actually had a baby by him whose middle name is Gray. But her father called into Larry Reid Live show and said it's not true. So, you know, some people believe that it is true though, but no, that mistress that he was speaking about allegedly when he admitted to some discretions, that's not the only one. Allegedly. And see, that's how I feel. But some people is like, oh, you shouldn't stop going to church because they cheated because we're all human. And I'm like, I'm not going to stop going to church. But I still feel like pastors who do stuff like that, they need to sit down somewhere at least for a period of time instead of just going back up on the pulpit trying to preach us out of our sins the very next day. That's how I feel. Now go ahead, Sam.
Okay, with me on that, I'm thinking that if a pastor cheated, male or female, okay, you cheated, and now that you outed it and people know about it or whatever, my whole thing is a lot of people come to you because they need to hear the word and they trying to get themselves together to be a better person. But here you are, then done cheating, and cheating ain't just sex. Cheating could be accepting phone calls, text messaging, sexting or whatever they call it. Going to lunch.
Yep, dinner dates.
Yep, accepting gifts, any of that. Okay, but then you got these people, they broken. They come to you because they believe in what you speaking. And they feel, yep, thank you. And then, you know, this person already in a place. And sometimes people come at their last resort is church. And I hate to say it that way, but that's just how it is. But then they come in there and they like, okay, this person has told me and I feel this way. And then they come back again and you up there saying, but I'd like to apologize to the congregation. I may have a child out of wedlock or I may be pregnant out of wedlock. And now they like, oh my God, you know, they feel like they're going back to square one. Help me, y'all, how should we deal with that? Because a lot of times people don't just not want to go to church. Sometimes you're confused and it takes a lot to drag yourself through that door. And you get in there and you hear this good word and the next thing you come, or your first time, when you finally get there, and you hear the pastor say, well, I'd like to apologize because I cheated on my significant other or whatever. And I may have this baby in my womb, may not be my husband, or I got this alleged woman saying that I got a 2-year-old or she got a baby in her womb, you know. So, I mean, it's hard. And they always say, don't put your wife on, excuse me, don't put your mouth on the man of God. But sometimes, you know, you can go to God, but also you need to go to God's house.
And I heard that a lot growing up. Like, I've been in church since I was, I want to say 4 or 5. And I left church probably around 16, 17-ish, something like that. And it was because witnessing a whole lot of stuff in the church that just wasn't right. I mean, just downright from the pastor on to the back door. It was just not right. So I admit I did leave the church for some period of time. And then when I got back to church after I had my first son, I wanted to raise him in church like I did. So I hopped around a bit and, went to different churches and stuff. And there was one particular church in Omaha that I had visited that everybody had kept telling me to visit. And I'm not going to say the pastor's name or the name of the church. But if you're in Omaha, you probably have an idea of who I'm talking about. But I had stopped going to that church, and mine only visited a few times. But then when I heard rumors of infidelity and cheating on his wife and all this kind of stuff, and then the wife moved out, and it was just a whole big old. It was a hot mess, and a lot of people was leaving the church. It was rumors all around the city. I mean, it was a mess. And then I was like, dang. It's everywhere. I'm like, it's everywhere. And then it was other pastors in our city who was accused of having babies on their wife. I mean, it's hard to want to keep coming to church. And like you said, some people come to church as their last resort. Like they done so many wrong things in their life, and they feel like they're just keep falling down, and they need some guidance, some help, a family, a like-minded family, to help them, just get back on track.
Right.
And when it's like every church you go to is like, oh my God, they worse off than me, It's like, how do you keep going to church? And then they say, don't put your mouth on the pastor. They say, don't hold your pastor up to such a pedestal or, such a high regard. And you're supposed to be coming to church for God and not the pastor. But how can you say that when God is supposedly speaking through the pastor and he supposedly is following the will of God? I don't know. I'm just asking things that other people say, including myself. A lot of people talk about this stuff and they don't go to church. What Miss Hall say? That type of pastor can't teach me anything. Yes, we all human, but no thanks. A broken pastor trying to preach to broken people don't make sense. Unacceptable.
And you're right about that, Miss Hogg, and I totally agree, because sometimes, I see it as where, like how my pastor say, and I haven't attended church regularly, but when I do go, I still feel like I never left, and that's honest. That's truthful for me. But like my pastor say, the church is like a hospital. You go in there because you need some help.
Need a healing.
There it is. And sometimes if I went to a church and I was just down on my luck and I felt bummed out, which I try not to wait till I get there, but if it did, I went in there and the pastor was like, well, first of all, I want to apologize for cheating on my wife or cheating on my husband or something. I'll be like, oh, Lord. I actually had to ask him. And a lot of things is, what, I call on him all day, every day. And I ain't the best, I ain't the worst person. And I do like to look at a pastor and I feel that, that's a calling. I have heard that all my days. But sometimes, what, every call, like they say, every missed call don't deserve a call back. And sometimes we got to make sure that that's the right call for us. People say, that's your calling. Your calling could be anything, but sometimes what? If humans tell you that you called to be a pastor or whatever, you better make sure that you also call God first. Call God first.
Make sure he actually called you that, and make sure you're right. Like some people don't know that Pastor John Gray. He used to, belong to a different church in Houston, which was Joel Osteen's church. And then he was offered an opportunity, by Ron Carpenter, to run his church that he was leaving. And the name of the church is Relentless. But a lot of people don't know that before all that, John Gray, he used to belong to Eddie Long's church. And that church was called New Birth, I believe. Ain't that the name of the church?
I believe so.
New Birth, I believe. Y'all
I want to
correct me if
say,
I'm
yeah,
wrong.
that's what I was about to say. Help us, Jesus.
Yeah, help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. Lead us the way. Now, Miss Hogg said, she said, that's right, Samantha. I've been a member of a church where pastors messing with young girls. See, and that's the kind of thing that, happened when I was younger. It was a lot of things. I mean,
One thing I can
Lord
say
Jesus.
about being young and going to church, I wish I had more time at
That
church.
said New Birth in Atlanta. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I say about being young and going to church, and you see this man as your pastor, and and people say they call the pastor dad and stuff like that. Okay, I understand that, and I have no problem with that. You can call him dad, you can do whatever you feel. But my whole thing is, if a person got tendencies of anything, it ain't gotta be sexual. Some people got them about eating, clothing, all kinds of different stuff. But one thing is, a child is like a blank canvas. And if a child come to church, like how we used to when we was kids, my mother didn't go to church with us, but she used to get us ready, and we'd go home Saturday and say, we're going to church tomorrow. She'd stop partying or whatever she was doing with her friend, get up, help us get our things together. She didn't go to church with us, but she didn't make sure that we got our hair pressed that Sunday morning before church. We looked right. They gave us money to go, this for the church, this for y'all to go to the store down the street afterward. But they turned us over to a pastor that, that we felt comfortable with. And I can honestly say, that never happened to me in the church, but like some people, they won't come out and say either east or west, but for you to be vulnerable as a child or an adult and somebody, mess around with you or whatever, especially as a kid, that destroys people, and then they want to say all kinds of stuff. But people never look at why people say they don't mess with church, they don't mess with this and that. You gotta ask that person, what is it? Don't just be like, oh, they just want to continue to live and do wrong. No, something obvious jumped off, just like how pastors will.
A lot of people do condemn you for not coming to church. Like,
I've been there.
You ever heard the expression? Well, I know you have because you go to church like I do. But the expression, you don't have to go to church to have church. And that's what a lot of people use as an excuse not to go to church. But it's true. You can have church at home. I remember growing up and my mom used to attend some people churches that they had in their basement. Like, and we would be in there shouting the roof off the house,
Marcel went to church like that.
Yeah, so it's like everybody who don't go to church just don't go just because they don't want to go. You know what I mean? Like, usually there's a reason why people don't go to church. Like, I remember one time when I was younger, and I was a teenager, preteen, somewhere around there. And we used to no, my bad. That's a different story. I was a young adult. I remember now. I was a young adult, but I didn't have a car, and I used to have to catch the you know how churches have buses? Yeah, the church van. And I didn't have a car. And my mom didn't have a car either, but we stayed in two separate homes because I was grown. And we all used to ride the bus to go to church. And I remember specifically telling my mom how I hated getting dropped off first. Getting dropped off last, and how I hated getting picked up first because something didn't feel right with the pastor. It seemed like he would just go over his way being extra nice and extra courteous and asking, can he come in my house, and do I got coffee? Did I cook breakfast? It was just, you can tell as a woman, as a man, you can tell when somebody's coming on to you. Where's your boyfriend? Why you don't have a boyfriend? Why is your old butt asking me all these questions? Why is you always trying to come in my house? And so my mom, she knew my concerns, and she would tell him, could you please not drop my daughter off last, or could you please not pick her up first? And I swear he kept doing it and doing it over and over and over till I stopped going to church. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, I know what this man, I know what his motives are. I'm not dumb. I know what his motives are. I done seen this stuff growing up in my family, around friends. I done seen it, and I know the signs, and I stopped going to church. I stopped going for a few more years. It was like, I go, then I stop. I go, then I stop. And it's always like somebody of the cloth who stopped me from going. Well, not stopped me from going. I'm not trying to say, they put a gun in my head. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't stop going to church just because they don't want to go. And it's sad when you really, really want to go to church, and it's like, you don't know if
right or wrong or what, you trying to do right, but somebody coming at you, and then you like, this person, you looking at them in your eyes that whatever comes out of their mouth or however they, you thinking that it's right, but then I called your gut instinct
you right,
is wrong.
He would have tried me. I know he would have. He would have tried me. I could just tell. It's like, when people, the way they look at you, the way they talk to you, the way they,
Don't do that.
It made me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. Like, ugh. No. And it's like, I was grown, so it wouldn't have been like no underage mess going on, but it still wouldn't have been right. He's a married man.
You're looking for him for guidance to make your life better and your child's. And for you to be getting on a church van, I know you could just say, okay, church started at 10.
And he at my house at 8:30.
Yeah, you going to get up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to get you and your child ready, because this van going to be out here early. Y'all got other people to pick up.
This whole dirty old married man. I used to tell my mom, please tell him. And then I'll be like, Mom, I'm hitting her. Mom, he's dropping everybody else. Mom. And she's like, excuse me. And I'm telling you, I just stopped going. I was like, I can't handle it no more.
That was said when you right there, you right at your blessing. But sometimes like that, you like, I'm out here my blessing. And who don't want their blessing? But also you don't want that, that uneasiness every time.
Yeah.
That anxiety.
I don't want to have to cut nobody. I don't want to have to cut nobody. Sure. But yeah, you right, dirty old man. And there were red flags, and that's the thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna read y'all something that I found online. Let me see. Hold on, let me go through my notes. I'm gonna read y'all this. This is what I saw online, and y'all tell me if y'all agree with any of this stuff. Okay, this was something somebody had wrote up about what men pastors should watch out for. And it's 7 things. Number 1, and we can discuss each and every one of them if y'all want to. But number 1, the first one says, watch out, Mr. Preacher Man, for the other woman who wants to be your wife. This is the woman who is unhappily married, and she's your biggest fan, and you are everything she wants in a man. What do you think about that one?
Okay, first of all, how does she know that he's everything she wants in a man? Because you know what?
Probably because he makes his woman really, really happy.
But it's like, okay, I'm going to go back to the first
he seems
man.
Perfect.
The man with the wife, Avenger?
How you say her name? Aventer.
Amateur.
Yeah,
Her
Aventer.
husband. Okay. Just like he said, in front of everybody, but at home is, if somebody sleeping on the couch, well, she said it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you know that she, she see the happy part of it, but she don't see where they crying at night,
Exactly.
arguing and everything. Okay.
Like he was saying on the pulpit, they see this right here.
Yeah, but they don't see the tears and arguments and don't come in the room and maybe somebody toss some pillows and blankets and the children, if they have any, I don't know, but everybody,
Yep.
that's judging a book by its cover. Like my mom used to say when we got ready to go, you clean your house up, you make sure everything clean and everything, because you never know who's gonna come back home with you.
I tell myself
or
that all
whatever.
the time.
That's how I see this. When women and men see something, follow a person home. My mama always said to follow them home and see if that's what you really want.
Yep. So it ain't always what it looks like. And then number 2, it says, Mr. Preacher Man, watch out for the other woman who wants to be your mother. This is the woman who smothers you with attention, cooks, and buys you stuff.
Oh, man. I ain't cooking you nothing. I ain't buying you nothing.
You know.
No. I like cooking something. I'll take that back.
Women don't let your wife be sick or something. Don't let your wife be sick. And I can bring y'all something. What you like to eat, Pastor? What's your favorite?
Sometimes though, when women get in there or men get in there, and it ain't what they think.
She said, "Feeding the pastor." Okay, number 3. Number 3. Watch out, Mr. Preacher Man, for the other woman who wants to be your lover. Proverbs 5:1-5 speaks of this woman. This woman is especially dangerous if the relationship between you and your wife have grown stale. She wants you and will make sure you know it. She will convince you, no strings attached. What you think about that, Miss Hall? No strings attached.
And then I think, and excuse me, Miss Hall, because I'm gonna let you speak too. But I think everything comes with strings. Because you start off doing what they want, and as soon as you don't do it, that's where them strings come in at.
All right.
Tell me what y'all think about that.
So she said it's called the waiting woman. Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Number 4. Watch out, Mr. Preacher Man, for the other woman you want. This woman seems to be everything you want in a woman. In her presence, you feel a certain type of way, but you are married.
Okay. With that being told, like at a workplace, when a married man is at work or a married woman, and that little my work husband,
work wife,
my work wife, because ain't none of that. I feel you got one wife and one husband. That's the one that was at the altar with you.
Right.
Okay. Because if you got to have this little play marriage,
y'all going to bus together all the time. She bringing you cookies.
No. Like, it's a lady that I know, and I won't say her name, but she's a sweet lady to me. And just like she said, I don't pop up at her husband's a pharmacist. She don't pop up at this job or nothing like that. But one thing she say is, my husband don't go to work with no hole in his sock, no button missing from his shirt. He don't go to work.
You gotta have me choke on my drink.
None of that. She said, because you know what? I don't need no woman trying to
She
fix
said no
nothing.
hole in his sock. You know how we keep needle and thread in our purse? Well, some people, I don't know nothing about
And
no needle and thread.
she said,
I can cook and I
ain't
can
no woman
bake.
fixing my man.
I can cook and I can bake. I can't sew a hole up for. She called him play spouse.
Yeah, that baby. Miss Hall, that's a H now.
She
A
said
double
a
H
double
H
H-E
now.
double hockey stick.
No,
No.
no.
To the no.
You know what? And it ain't just women. Men do it too.
Yeah. We can't blame it all on the women. I mean, it seems like it's because more pastors are men. That's why it seems like more men do this because more pastors are men. But that don't mean that it's females out there who pastors who has been alleged to be cheated on their husbands too. So, or might not be married and sleeping around with somebody in church. But that's another story. But
we're
anyway.
not here to target just males.
Right.
We're not targeting anybody. But what I'm saying is people gotta realize that, in any position, at a job, a church, wherever, a lot of people look up and they figure that you in this position, you got something to always offer. Baby.
Mm-hmm.
You better do your work first.
I seen it at my job too, Miss Hogg. And I work from home now, besides a few days a week when I work part-time at the nursing home. But I work from home, but when I used to work at the office, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or whatever my schedule was, I saw it all the time. Women and men bringing each other food to work almost every single day. They going out almost every single day. And then the rumors would start. You see them? They been gone. What time they clock out? I mean, it's like, no, for real. Then once we have the parties and the Christmas parties or the summer picnics, then everybody looking at each other sideways like, oh, they wife here now. Now they act like they don't know each other. So, But anyway, let me move on to number 5. I'm sorry, number 6. Okay, watch out, Mr. Preacher Man. For the other woman who doesn't know what she wants, this woman is the mixed up and needy woman. She is always she is always coming to your office. She may not be anything to look at, but the danger is you can become emotionally drawn to her. And that's true. I mean, sometimes a pastor might feel like Captain Saver. You know what I'm saying? Yes, go ahead. Sometimes the pastor might feel like Captain Saver. And sometimes there are women out there who are really, really needy. And they always got a pass kind of, oh, could you call me? Texting them, emailing them, Skyping them. Oh, this happened, that happened. My kids acting up. My son done skipping school. My washer and dryer broke. I mean, just always contacting the pastor. And sometimes the pastor will feel like really sorry for them. And you can get trapped that way too. And like they said, they don't have to be anything gorgeous. Anything gorgeous. I mean, shoot. There's somebody out there for everybody. Somebody out there for everybody. Even though sometimes it ain't right. Sometimes it ain't right. Let me get to the last one. Emotional connection is dangerous. And that's true. And that's what I was just saying as far as the pastor feeling like somebody is dependent on them and always need them, and they just have to be there and they can't tell them no, and then it usually don't work out too well in the end. It really don't. Sam stepped away to make us another drink. Now, number 7. This one is, okay, y'all listening? This is the last one. Number 7. The other woman you work most closely with in ministry, Mr. Preacher Man, beware. Beware the other woman you work most closely with in ministry. You frequently meet with this woman to discuss ministry matters. It's the constant meetings alone that shouts danger. Question. Now, question. Can restoration occur after a pastor has been caught in a scandal? I mean, true restoration? You know, like we were saying earlier, a lot of pastors or preachers who cheat on their spouses, they don't admit it until they've been caught. And then when they caught, they try to do everything possible to remain in that position. Opposite sex pastors, close court. Yep. And it's kind of like that's still the same like in the workplace, like what Samantha was saying about the workplace. When you work so closely with someone after hours, coming in early, going to meet up, coffee, dinner dates, you know, working over work and stuff like that. And then y'all know, oh, what you done done, oh Lord. Samantha over here making a mess. Oh my Jesus. Yeah, it's like gonna spill out. Hold on. Lord Jesus. We sipping on some wine. Some wine, Miss Hall. You wanna see? And no, I'm not advertising or this ain't no sponsor thing. I'm just showing y'all. Can you see it? But honey, let me tell you, it's Samantha's birthday. Well, this is her whole birthday month. And it's supposed to be really stormy and windy and feel like negative 30 degrees here this weekend in Omaha. It's supposed to feel like. Yes, Samantha was making a mess, making our drinks. But y'all, how do y'all feel about what we've been discussing about pastors? Is that something you can easily overlook if it was your pastor? I mean, I know, how that saying go, don't throw rocks at glass houses.
Oh, yeah, don't throw stones.
Don't throw stones at glass houses. We all have done something wrong in our life. A lot of us, you know, have skeletons in our closet. Hey, I ain't perfect. I ain't never been perfect since about the age of 5. Since about the age of 5. I used to get in trouble all the time. I was a good kid, but I was a bad kid. I was good in school, but out in the streets, I was something else. But my mama was like, long as you go to school, you do your homework, get on that bus on time, you know, she didn't know what to do with me half the time. But you know what I'm saying. We all have skeletons, and nobody's perfect. But has anybody ever stopped going to church because of that? Because you don't feel like you can look up to your pastor, or you don't feel like they are truly ordained, you know? Yes, we all have said. Oh, she said happy birthday, Sam.
Thank you, Ms. Hawk.
Her daughter's birthday was January 15th.
Oh, a week before mine.
Yup. We gonna try to get out this weekend though. We supposed to be going to see. Oh, did you see my video like a few days back? Now you know our segment is called Sisters from Another Mister, right? Because we sister friends. And we're supposed to go see if Bill Streets Could Talk. We were supposed to go see it the other day, but Sam had to work, so we're gonna go see it this weekend if weather permits. It's supposed to be something horrible here. It's supposed to be something horrible here in the Midwest. So if weather permits, we're going to go see If Bill Street Could Talk. And then we're going to do our Sisters from Another Mister review on that, you know, probably like a week or so, you know, or a few days later. You know?
I want to do it early because I want to really help Tanya with whatever, you know, we're getting her everything together to get to the being An entrepreneur.
We got this. We have lots of plans in mind. And I even keep trying to get Sam to get her own channel. I think Sam would be good. Sam, y'all just don't know. Samantha is hilarious.
Don't trust me on this.
Hilarious. I don't know. You might get a channel on YouTube, be like, no. You too much, but no.
I ain't never been in Facebook jail, but I feel like I don't know that. No, I act right. I just don't know what I'll do with it though.
People always be in Facebook jail. Sammy will be in YouTube jail every other week.
I never really. Once I get on that though, right now I'm gonna stick hanging with you with the time.
She said she haven't seen it yet. Yes, Miss Hall, make sure you go see it. We're gonna try our best to go see it this weekend. Like I said, matter of fact, they already like 2 hours ago closed the schools in our area. The kids have no school tomorrow. That's how bad it's supposed to be this weekend. So we got the call probably around it's 10:23 here. We probably got the call around 7:30, like 3 hours ago, that all schools in the area is closed tomorrow. No school. So, But thanks, Miss Hall. You said she liked that segment. Oh, you're gonna go next Friday? Well, what we'll probably do is go. If it's not too bad this weekend, we'll go this weekend. But if not, we'll probably wait till next weekend to do the review. It just depends on the weather.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, because I haven't checked the weather like all around us, but usually when it hits us, it hits Iowa, it hits Kansas, it hits Missouri, the whole Midwest, Chicago. We right in the middle. So the panhandle, girl, I don't know what they call it. But
that's my test.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I'm stick with you. That's a shame.
But so y'all, I hope y'all really enjoyed this segment. Nobody called in tonight. It's okay if y'all just watch. You don't always have to call in. Sometimes we get people who call in, sometimes not. Some people be shy. They be wanting to call in, but don't call in. I see y'all. Y'all get over that shyness. I used to be like that too. And then sometimes I'll be calling people live like, what's up? It's Miss Tanya's prime time, and this is what I gotta say. But yeah, as far as John Gray and Aventor, I hope I'm saying her name right. I love me some Aventor. I love his wife. His show that's on, their show that's on the OWN channel. It's called what is it called? The Book of John Gray. It's a really good show. He is a really good counselor, a good preacher. I really hope the best for them. We didn't do this show to try to go in on preachers. We just did this show basically to bring to light some of the things that people feel about churches. And some people feel like they want to go to church. But then it's like when you hear your pastors doing all this, that, and the third, you like, well, hell, if he can do it and still stand up there and preach and still get paid and all this and rolling around in expensive vehicles and living in a nice house on the hill, I can do that. I can cheat on my wife and I can do all this. And if the pastor can do, some people feel that way. And I know I've been in church long enough and on this earth long enough to know that if somebody jumps off a cliff, you don't follow. So I know that. But some people, they do believe that, and they don't want to receive a pastor that, especially when they admit it. Now, it's one thing to be alleged, but then when you admit it, and there's so many pastors, and that ain't the only scandals. It's pastors stealing from churches, pastors sleeping with children, pastors doing all kind of stuff behind the pulpit. And it's yeah, like you said, Miss Hall, wrong is wrong. It's like,
Right about
and
that
that's
one.
what Sam was saying earlier before we even started. You know, you don't want to judge pastors and try to hold them to a higher regard, but then again, aren't we supposed to hold them to a higher regard?
I
They,
believe so, because they
you
the ones
know,
supposed to be guiding us.
and we're supposed to respect them. And what the Bible say, don't put your mouth on the man of God.
Right.
So to
And I
me,
believe that one. But a lot of times nowadays, I always have to ask God to forgive me. Because
right.
right now, even when my children were little kids, I used to tell them certain little code words, stuff like that. And they never ever came and told me that. But one thing is I always tell my babies is, don't worry about it. They say they're going to kill me and nothing like that. I'm not worried about that because if it's time, it's time. But that's
Mhm.
that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But people will say and do things to try to quiet you. But when it comes to a child, like I said before, a child is like a blank canvas, and people know that.
Innocent.
And when they're innocent and they vulnerable like that, just the same as once you become a senior citizen or whatever, you go back to being innocent and vulnerable.
Yeah.
All I say is treat them how you want to be treated, but don't get up in front of a full house, a
Or a
congregation or whatever,
congregation.
and come off like you right.
Like
If
you
you
better
need
than everybody, and you.
hello,
That's what. See, I think that's what gets me. That's like the church that I went to. And I went to several churches when I was growing up, but one of them, I remember specifically, the pastor was always like trying to prophesy and say what people was doing, and you doing this and not to do this, and you going to hell, and da, 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 and got fire and brimstone and all. I mean, just all that, and they was doing so much dirt. It was ridiculous. It was like doing so much dirt. That's what I don't like as far as pastors. Like, I can probably forgive you and get past your indiscretions if you cheat or whatever, something like that. But it's like it's hard to accept it when the pastor is on the pulpit all the time yelling and screaming fire and brimstone and telling you if you
say
don't
it.
get your life right, if you don't get saved, if you don't put your 10% in the church plus your offerings plus the building fund plus the I mean they be
You know
y'all
what?
know what
I'm
I'm saying.
confused with that right there. I mean, well, even with like when I had my sons and I was raising them both, and I still had just my income, and I did the 10%, and I did the what they say free will offering thing,
Uh-huh.
and I always made sure I paid more towards the 10% part,
Mhm.
that. But when it was never that I didn't have it. And I know God always made sure that I did. But one thing I want to say is about giving to the church. It was a pastor that was a co I think it's a co-pastor, the tech pastor.
That's a bit of the doorknob fund. That's what they call it. When
Oh,
people be joking about the building fund. The same old doorknob been on that church for like 10 years.
but I'm still confused to this day as a grown woman. I mean, an older woman because I was grown when I started taking my babies. But my thing is, okay, like when you pay your 10%, that's your offering, right? But then
That's
they
your
said
ties.
your tithes. Okay, your tithes. Okay, so the offering part is like, is that another
Your offering
10%?
is
No.
like, well, your tie is supposed to be 10%. Um, and some people say it's supposed to be 10% of your gross. But
Yeah, before they tax
I ain't
it.
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. When I pay tithes, I go by my net. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. Because I feel like this. If it's my gross and my saint, let's just throw a random number out there. My check is 1,500, and after my taxes and my insurance and 401 and all that go out, It might drop down to like what 12, 1100, and then
Nine.
I'm like, yeah, like 9, yeah, and
That's
then
what you said with mine. Shoot, I'm like, oh, what
right, and then you gotta pay your tithes off of that. So it's like, okay, now they done already took $400-500 from me now, and I'm not paying my tithes on that 15 because it's no longer.
That's what I should pay mine on.
I mean, some people do. Some people
Because
like,
that's
okay,
what
you're
I
supposed
was
to pay on your
told.
gross. What do y'all believe? Like, do y'all pay tithes? I know some people don't pay. I done heard people say, I ain't paying tithes to nobody. I put my offering in, whatever I want to donate, and that's it.
I was told give it with a good heart. You know
Right.
what I mean? If you ain't giving like that, don't give it. But one thing,
She said your service is also part of the offering. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cause at my church they used to have like where they had we call it the hot dog
Oh, the hot dog ministry. I remember that.
I used to love to do that, and I can't take that. Now I go out the night before, party it down. But one thing is, I have my stuff laid out, and I get up the next morning.
She ain't lying.
And I get them hot dogs and cookies.
We is not perfect.
Shoot, hug up on them kids.
We both would be out there
minister to them because I
hanging out, girl.
Say it.
We both be out there hanging out, but we would go to church on Sunday. Like that's one thing that I learned going to church too as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want all week long. You can turn up on the weekend, but Sunday morning you better pop some Tylenol, some Advil, drink you some strong coffee, and have your butt on that pew on Sunday morning. That's so.
Now this whole thing is off the record. But one Sunday I went to church to do my hot dog ministry. Come back around to my house and these people got this turkey.
What?
It's a fake turkey in their yard. And they always got Christmas and Santa Claus and stuff. I was still faded for the night before, but I used to go in to church for that.
Oh my God, that's so
I
funny.
came down, I looked, and I said, "Oh Lord, please help me get home," because I swore that fake turkey was walking. But one thing is, I said, I don't care what I do on Saturday, and I'm still look it up. But I ain't never told nobody. I had to get that off my chest.
I can't breathe. That's all said. She said Samantha finally opening up. Like, yeah, finally, huh?
I was like, Lord, if that turkey walked, it was a fake turkey. And I said, when I got myself together,
Lord,
because that's what I was doing. I was walking. So I walked the same route that I drove from my church. I said, I'll knock on these people's door and say, if y'all get that doggone turkey about this yard. And then they always have like it's like a flagpole. They have different stuff.
I am in tears.
I'm done.
I'm in tears. You thought the turkey was following you?
No, girl. Okay, you can run up there this way. Over what's that called? Sorensen way.
Martin. Sorensen.
Like more towards Walgreens.
Okay, Martin Ave.
Okay, and you go up there and it's like before you get to that school that's up there. Is it that school up there?
I can't.
Girl, I come around that hill, I'm coming down. I said, Lord, is that? I thought that turkey was fake. I promise. I said, I think that turkey will walk.
I'm about to flatline. I swear.
That's why I don't want to mess with YouTube, but I love Tiny, so I do anything to walk.
That's why I said that she got her own YouTube channel.
I said, oh, Jason.
But I really think you should get your own YouTube channel. But no, for real. Everybody has a funny story. And there's a lot of people, you have to just be really super naive if you don't think people at your church still kicks it, goes out on the weekend, and gets up on Sunday morning and go to church. So,
let me ask y'all a question out here.
I am like in tears.
My whole thing is, okay, me.
Yes, that's Stella. No, it's Stella Black, Miss Hogg. It's Stella Black.
I get out. One time I'm at the bar. And I see two people that I can honestly remember to this day, but it was more than that because I came when I told my son. I saw quite a few people from the church at the bar. They looked at me like I was a see-through. That what they say, Donald Trump want to build that see-through wall. They looked at me just like that.
Like they didn't even see you.
Like they ain't know me. So you know what I did? Hey, how you doing?
Like, don't be ashamed because you at the club.
We kicking it, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow in the morning.
Don't give all that money to the waitress. Save some for church tomorrow.
I used to break my money down. I say this for the church.
This for going out.
Hello.
Give me some. See, we have this. See, now this is okay. We in our 40s now. This is not unusual. This is like the life of any young person who's still out there and still out there, like not all the way in the streets like you used to, but every now and then you go out. And I'm like, when the last time I've been out? God. We ain't been out a long time. It's been, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even go out on my birthday. I was over here kicking it with Sam on my birthday. Shoot, kicking it. But yeah, we don't go out anymore. But that was back in the day stuff. We used to have a lot of fun. But anyway, you said those church folks yes, they do be at the club, and they be acting like they don't see you.
Girl, I was gonna say that too. And like they don't know us.
Shoot, I see you. Just make sure you don't wear the same thing you wore here tonight to church in the morning. But anyway, y'all. Is there anything else you want to bring up about the All
I say is anybody could cheat regardless of your position or your career in life. And my thing is everybody wants to, you think that a relationship could come back after the male has cheated? You think it can come back after a female cheat? I think,
I think it's harder.
It ain't gonna be the same.
In front of when your life is in front of so many people. Like it's just not like your normal husband and wife, he cheat on you, But when you in the spotlight like that with thousands of church members and congregation and you're on TV and you're known worldwide, I mean, I really hope the best for them. I love me some Aventure. I really, really do. She is a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. And I generally like John Gray as well. So I just hope maybe this will be a lesson for other pastors out there, Yeah, well,
I want to know, though, is there a baby involved? Because if it's a child involved, then I want him to step up and do what he needs to do. And I want his wife to be able to express how she truly, really, really feels. Yeah. If not to America, at least to him and to the alleged mom.
Yeah, because you saw Aventure, that video with John Gray and Aventure when he was making his confession and he had her come on stage and he was like, yeah, there was times when we were both, when somebody was on the couch and she was like, you was on the couch. I'm sure she probably wanted to say a lot more about it, but she was just like, you was on the couch and, this woman, she ain't going to break up our family. And then, so they didn't really go into details about it as much, but you can best believe no matter what kind of face Aventure puts on, she is truly embarrassed and hurt, deeply. Even if y'all do fight for y'all family and y'all still, stay together and everything. It just has to be hard as heck to recoup from something like that. Everybody knows your man is, and then he buys you a $200,000 car.
Nope.
He's holding something, holding something in front of you. Here you go, babe, and you take it, and it's do it feel like it was paid off, or is it truly, genuinely a gift? Like first, y'all. Okay, now if y'all been following this story, and Miss Hogg, you let me know if you been following this story. But at first, remember, he was just bragging. Oh, I bought my wife a car. I can afford it. I sell books. We got a show. Da 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 da. I bought her a car because she deserves a car. And da 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 da. And then the next thing you know, he's on stage saying, I have a confession to make. So does it really seem like he bought the car because, oh, she deserves a $200,000 Lamborghini that you can only drive so many miles an hour in the city anyway? Or was it really like a payoff? Like, and I'm sorry, please forgive me
That's
for
what it
cheating.
was to me.
You know, it's like,
Some women will take gifts on top of gifts on top of gifts. And
I knew something was up too, Avatar. I knew it before the even accusations came out. I'm like, a $200,000 Lamborghini?
I won't want no car.
That's like the top of a line car that, not saying she doesn't deserve nothing like that, but a Lambo? Hey, I would have been happy with a Cadillac. I've been happy. Give me an F-150. Shoot,
All I want is a 2020 Dodge Durango. And
girl, a Durango, a Journey, you know, something like that. Shoot, I like Journeys. I like those.
Something I can pay for the oil change on.
Shoot, I can put my cakes in there when I'm delivering my cakes and stuff.
Oh,
that's all I need is a have a fleet of Durangos.
They have children working for us.
Girl, I already told my nephews and nieces I'm about to put y'all to work. Y'all gonna be delivering cakes, whipping up frosting. They like, Auntie, you gonna put us in the cake shop? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My grandson drives.
Yep, it's gonna be a family business.
Sure is.
But yeah. You said college education for their kids' money. That is, and you know what? It was like a big to do. They actually, it was, you know, people in the church, and he made a video about this. See, we're not just talking about stuff off the top of our head. We're going by what we heard, what we seen, and he's been making a lot of videos lately. And one that he did make was how people were telling him, how'd you get that car? How'd you afford that car? Because like 50 people were laid off from the church after he took over the church, and he started off with like $1 million to pay bills and all that kind of stuff. And after a few months, they have to lay off 50 people. And then a $200,000 car. And then I confess.
What's the car?
She probably will. Girl, $200,000. Girl, I'm telling you right now, if my man cheat on me,
I
don't care if he is the president.
Nothing like that.
The president, or over a church, or over a governor. I don't want no $200,000 car. Shoot, just fess up, do better, and that's even if I stay with you. Because if you can't just buy me that any time of the year, don't buy me nothing expensive like that just because you messed up.
Oh yeah, child, this is more for us. We always just that.
Oh, hey, Miss Hall.
Hey, Miss Hall.
I thought somebody was on the line. Hold on, babe. Hold on. Let me put you on speakerphone. I forgot my little speaker at the house, and I'm at Samantha's house. So I'm hope everybody can hear you. Y'all in the chat, let me know if y'all can hear Miss Hall. Go ahead, Miss Hall.
Okay, I just wanted to surprise you all, and I said, let me surprise them, calling for they close this show out.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the show. Y'all two are good together. I like it. You need to get on YouTube.
Yes, she does. Tell her again.
She feels pretty good with that Stella Black now.
Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Girl, you should have seen her over here making these drinks.
Making a what, man?
Drinks all over the counter.
My
Yes,
puppy
we
gonna
grown.
like it.
We grown. We all grown. And that's what I like about me and Samantha together. We've been knowing each other for a very long time. Oh my gosh, like
20 years.
24 years.
How's your son?
My oldest son is 20, he'll be 22 this year, so it
So
was before
20.
that.
He was 2.
Yeah.
He came in the house and he said, I too. I too.
Y'all go way back.
Yes, we go
Yes.
way back.
Yes.
But thank you for tuning in to us. I love when you tune in to us.
I do
My
too.
pleasure, my pleasure. I said, let me catch them so they close it out for tonight. But it was a very good segment. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
We
I appreciate you too.
Yes.
Have a good night.
All right.
Keep watching.
All right. Thank you.
All
Good night to
right.
you too as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah. She always there. I know I ain't gonna buy. We got Miss Holt.
Yes. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of fun with y'all tonight. Again, this segment was more about what will you accept from your pastor? You know, what will you forgive? You know, is it okay? Should we hold our pastors to a higher regard? Or should we just treat him like the next door neighbor? Oh, he cheated on his wife. Oh, you know, it's cool. You know, so that's all we wanted to hear was what you guys thought about the subject of, because it's becoming more and more and more where we see it in the media that pastors are cheating on their wives. But you know what? In the end, we all have sinned and fallen short for the glory of God. Some of us just believes that when you do, you should give up that cloth. You know. But y'all let us know how y'all feel in the comment section. How y'all feel? Any last words?
No.
You good?
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Thank y'all for tuning in with another review from Sisters from Another Misters. And you guys have a wonderful, blessed night. And in the meantime and in between time, Prime Time Squad, stay safe, be blessed. We out. Deuces. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up. Hey, we out. Hey, we out now.